Hello my sweet honey bunnies and welcome to my Mandarin Ducky. Today we are going to make a wonderful love heart with the cute colorful birdies, and the beauty of this tutorial is that you can decorate anything you like with this cute and lovely technique. For this project you will need 5 to 8 different clay colors. You can use your clay leftovers, some bigger piece of white and brown clay, ball tool, a needle tool and a knife tool, and you will also need some paper for sketching, potentially some scissors, and a pencil or a pen. It would be nice to have a texture sheet as well. For finishing touches, you will need white and black acrylic paint and a soft brush. Also prepare some wet wipes and tissue paper. That's it, let us start. So here I have 9 pretty bright colors, and perhaps they are a bit too contrasty, and so I will use a piece of white clay to make some pastel tones. Condition your white clay and roll it into a cane. Slice it into 8-9 slices and use each of these to mix with the bright clay pieces. Now that we have our perfect clay balls, let's condition each of them and roll them into flat clay sheets by using a rolling pin or a pasta machine. I used setting number 3 on my pasta machine. After you prepared your clay, jump with me into the world of sketching. I am not as good at sketching and sometimes I get stuck, and so I had to use this easy sketching technique where you build your creatures from primitive shapes first and then you draw the outline. It definitely works. Here you can see I created 3 birds, each looking to different directions. It is always good to have some variation. So, now we will need to take our ball tool and draw the same type of birds, but this time on clay. Variation of different shapes, poses and colors is the key to success. If you struggle to draw on clay, you can cut out the birds you just draw on paper and use them as templates to draw around. After you are done with your outlines, use your knife tool or scalpel to cut them out. Do the same with all the clay sheets you have, and then repeat the procedure by cutting out some leaf-shaped bird wings from each color. After that, you will need to smooth the silhouettes of the birds with your fingers and other tools. Use whatever is more comfortable for you. The main idea is to get rid of sharp edges, weird lines, cracks and other imperfections. You can keep your birds in the same place and start working on other working surface. For this video I had to move the birds and their wings aside. The next step requires a large piece of brown clay, approximately a quarter of a standard clay block, maybe a little bit bigger. We will use it for a heart. Condition the clay and roll it through your pasta machine on the thickest level. Take your knife tool and bravely cut out a heart shape. You can also use cookie cutters. My heart is approximately 2.5 inch wide. Apply your texture sheet onto your clay and press firmly. Don't overdose. You can always lift one side of the sheet and check if the texture is deep enough or not. Even out the edges afterwards. Now it's time to have fun with birdies. Lift your birds with a blade or knife tool and start placing them around the edge of a heart. Remember that some of the birds might not even fit, or the color won't look as good as you would like it to. Use the remaining clay pieces you have and cut the birds in a size you may need. For example, I needed 2 smaller birds to make my composition nice and complete. Use the knife tool to make the beaks and needle tool to mark locations of the eyes. After that, start applying the wings. Mix and match the colors to make this project jollier. Work on textures properly, as texture makes the biggest difference. Here I'm working on defining tail feathers, wing feathers, and little dots on the bird chest will also imitate feathers. When that is done, you can decorate the heart with some leaves in a natural green leaf color. And again, use your knife tool to make leaf texture look more realistic, yet still very cute. And as I said before, apply little dots on birds' bellies for feather texture. Now it's time to bake. Bake according your clay manufacturer's instructions. Here I'm using Fimo, and so I will bake my clay for 15 minutes and 130 Celsius or 266 Fahrenheit degrees. When clay is baked and properly cooled down, it is time to paint it. Use the black acrylic paint first. Keep the brush quite wet, but don't allow the paint to be too wet. Keep it nice and consistent. Wipe as much paint as you can, leaving only some of the gaps and indentations in black. The idea is to keep all the higher surfaces in original color and all the deeper parts should become darker. If you wiped off too much, you can always add some more paint. The main thing is to keep the paint you're applying on your project quite wet. Once it dries, it is much harder to remove from your project. But don't worry, it's possible. Even if that happened, you can always remove dry acrylic paint with a surgical spirit. If you are happy with the result, you can go to the final part, details. I love details as they make the biggest difference. Take a thin brush and dip it into white paint. Start placing little paint dots on bird's chest. This way we imitate the different feather colors and making the birds look even cuter. Now dip your brush into black paint. Carefully draw some cute little black eyes on birds' heads where you marked it before. And the last step would be to create an illusion that birds' eyes are actually shining. These little white dots on the black eye circles make the huge difference. Now I can say that birds can finally see and I can hear them singing. We are all done. Enjoy this project and use it for everything you like. Make a cute necklace to celebrate coming spring or decorate a mirror frame, a box or a journal. This technique can truly make any object look brighter and happier. If you are after cuteness, this project is for you. For now, this is it, and I will see you guys in the next videos. Don't forget to share your projects with me by sending some pictures to mysweethoneyBunnies@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. Please support by subscribing. Bye!